Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is Bassel Sadiq speaking from the Syrian Educational Channel from Damascus. Welcome to our seminar for today. As you know, dear colleagues, English teachers, this is our fifth seminar for training English teachers on how to apply some lessons because it is our first seminar, so we are going today to talk about grade 5. Well, dear colleagues, let me first welcome my colleagues in the studio, Miss Umayma Sharba, an English supervisor from Tartus. Good afternoon, Miss Umayma.
Good afternoon.
And Mr. Abdul Majid Orley, an English supervisor from Damascus countryside. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Mr.
everybody.
Well, dear colleagues, as we said, this is our fifth seminar, and we are going to talk about some applied lessons chosen from grade 5. In fact, we have chosen Unit 17. Let's start to talk about Unit 17. As you know, in each unit, this unit contains 3 lessons. We are going to cover in this seminar only 2 lessons. I think it's enough for the teachers to cover lesson 1 and lesson 2. Let me start with you, Miss Umayma. Let's talk about the topic of the unit. First of all, the aims of Unit 17 and so on. What can you tell us about the aims, about the unit, about the functions? Please.
Thank you, Mr. Bassel. Speaking about the aims, we always start with the aims of the lesson, starting the lesson plan with the aims. Here in grade 5, students or pupil use the grammar. The first aim to learn how to use the past continuous tense and to describe an extended action in the past, to learn words for different types of television program, to revise telling the time. These are the aims of the lesson number 1, Unit 17. Okay?
So we have here the past continuous tense.
Yes. To learn how to use the past continuous tense.
Yes, and to describe an extended action, we mean that an action that was in progress in the past.
In the past.
Yes.
And to learn words.
Some words, of
Some
course.
words, yes, for different types of television programs.
Good.
And to revise telling the time. Because they studied how to tell about the time, to revise in this unit telling the time.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Majid, what about the functions? We know that we have new functions in this Unit 17.
Yeah.
What about the functions, the structures, the new structures, and so on? Please.
So as Ms. Umayma said, my colleague, in this lesson, students are going to be able to use the past continuous tense. So the structure is the past continuous tense. Functions, saying what was happening at a specific time in the past.
Good.
Students will be able, at the end of the lesson, to use the past continuous tense at an exact time in the past. And as she said, revising the time, students will be able to tell the time at the end of the lesson.
Yes.
So the teacher is going to work on these 2 points.
Okay. So what about the structures, the past continuous tense, the function saying what was happening at a specific time, as you said, in the past, and telling the time. Very nice. Okay. Now, let's talk, Ms. Umayma, about the topic of Unit 17 in general. Of course, here we are giving hints to our dear colleagues, English teachers, how to plan their lessons. When we mention the topic, when we talk about the functions, when we talk about the structures or the new structures in Unit 17, we are giving the teachers some hints about how to plan their lessons, how to prepare the lesson itself. I can consider what is going on now is really a good plan for this lesson. It is a plan. It is a lesson plan for Unit 17. So we are talking now about the lesson plan, in fact. At the same time, we are talking about the ideas and the functions and the structures. And these are the steps or the aims of Unit 17. So let's talk about the topic, please.
Yes, thank you. we speak about the topic. It's about home life and television programs. When we speak about the topic, home life and television programs, we will speak about vocabularies also. The vocabularies which are going to be taught in this unit, like cook, do his homework, speak about the pronouns, help, love, make, sleep, use, and we have, for example, chicken, elephant, because we speak about the programs, television programs, garden, and kitchen, rise, young, television program, cartoon, film, game show, nature program, and the news. So this is about the lesson 1. The topic and the
it is a very important skill for the students, and the teacher here should know how to make his students able to talk about different programs, television programs, and how to describe these programs, how to talk about them, and even to know the names of these programs, to specify them or to classify them.
Yes.
In fact. Let's go on, please.
Well,
so, Mr. Majid, now we have everything with us. We know the topic, which is television programs. We know the new structures. We know the function. We know the grammar we are going to teach in this lesson or this unit. Let's start with lesson 1, please. Lesson 1, how to warm up. What can the teacher do when warming up?
Yeah,
please.
Well, actually, I want to remind our dear teachers that the aim of teaching the language is to make these students able to use the language. Of course, this lesson is about the past continuous tense and about television programs.
Yes.
So we need to let these pupils be able to use these words about home life and about television programs, and to use the past continuous tense when telling a story about a specific point in time.
Yes.
For the teacher, while he is planning for his lesson, he has a look at the resources he's going to use.
Yes.
Resources for lesson 1 is first and most important, usually we say the pupil's book. Okay? So he is going to study as a teacher the first page of lesson 1. We have a text in lesson 1, page 50, exercise 1, and also we have the cassette. And it's very important to make these students listen to the cassette.
I'd like to thank you really, Mr. Majid, because maybe we have forgotten to talk about the materials. Any teacher should prepare very well his materials before he goes on in his lesson. So what about the resources? As you said, we need the 2 books, the student's book or the activity
book. Now we are helping our dear teachers first to plan what they are going to use in the classroom before he enters the classroom to prepare himself. So as a teacher, I have a look at the book. So my first visual aid is the book itself. Then first lesson is page 50, exercise lesson 1, exercise 1.
Listen and read.
We have listen and read. So I need to use the cassette, the audio. And as we always say, nowadays teachers complain that no power, no electricity. Actually, if you charge your mobile phone, it will work at least for 3 hours.
Yes, of course.
Mine works the whole day, but let's say only 3 hours. So it's a good idea to convey the audio script just for every lesson we are going to teach to my mobile and to delete it later so that we don't take a lot of much space.
Yes.
So for this lesson, we need the track for exercise lesson 1, page 50, unit 15. The cassette is going to read the text in the lesson.
Yes.
It's very important to make these students listen to the audio so that they receive the mother tongue language.
Yes.
English
so
as it is spoken by the
you'd
English.
like to say that you advise the teachers to use the native tip script, the original one, not to use their own voice. It's better.
No,
it's better. Why? Because it's very necessary for the students to listen to the native language.
Yes.
Or to the native speakers.
More than that,
yes,
a lot of students say, we know English, and when we watch a television film, for example, and we read the subtitle in Arabic, they say we can change it into English, but when the speaker in the film is speaking English, we can't follow. This is because we, as teachers, don't focus on making these students listen to the native audio. It's very important to make these students be familiar with the accent.
I agree with you.
The British accent. So
Yes.
we need to use the Pupils Book, page 50, the cassette, Unit 17, Exercise 1.
Good.
Listen and read. And then, after we make them listen, it's a good idea to let the students focus on the past continuous tense while listening. Before I teach grammar, so that they elicit the grammar from the context,
Yes.
we tell them that we are going to see the past of verb to be with the subject and verb ing. Please focus on this while listening.
Well, in fact, I'd like to ask you another question, Mr. Majid. As you know, we are going to see, and we have just seen pictures or Unit 17 itself, Lesson 1. The text script is written. It is printed in front of the students themselves.
Yeah.
Do you prefer that to listen, to make the students, listen to the text script and read at the same time? Or to listen first without looking at the book, without opening? Before we open the book, do we do this, the exercise, or to make them listen to the text script before they read anything or they open the books? Or can we do this activity at the same time? Reading and listening
Thank you
at the
so
same
much
time.
for arousing this question.
Yes.
It's a very good question. Actually, both ways. Sometimes, as a teacher, I make my students listen books closed so that they can get the language. Other times, we can make them listen while reading silently, follow with their eyes. We need to vary, as we always say.
So at first, you say that it's better to listen first. Why? Because I want my students to guess or to know what the topic is about for today, for example, or to know or to get some information about the lesson itself. Then, in the next step, I can ask them to open the books, because if I ask them to open the books at the beginning, before I play on the cassette, right, or run on, yes,
they will read.
yes, so they will look at the page or look at the lesson itself, they will read, and they will forget listening. They will use their eyes,
yes.
they don't use their ears maybe. So I want them to use their ears at the beginning to listen carefully.
But as I said, it's a good way to make them listen the first time
Yes.
before they look at the words. But from time to time, it's a good idea to vary, make them read silently, then make them listen to the audio.
A good strategy.
Once to listen and read together, once to listen.
Yes, yes.
books
Of course, the
closed.
teacher here is free. He can choose what is suitable for the level of his students. He can choose
Teachers
himself.
should be creative and should be actors.
Yes.
Every teacher is an actor on the stage. And if he doesn't vary his tools and his strategies, these pupils will be bored in the end. So from time to time, we can change, but it's a good question, good idea.
Good.
Now, sir, the resources for this book is the Pupils Book itself.
Okay.
And we have to convey something. It's to be able to understand the cassette
Yes.
by letting them listen to the native audio, follow with their eyes, and we can prepare some questions about the text itself, write them on the board to ask them later. We're going to talk about them later, but this is a general idea. So the resources, the Pupils Book, the cassette, the study box. The teacher can use the study box to explain the grammar.
Good.
And it's a bad idea to start the lesson by writing grammar on the board, explaining grammar before he does anything. We always ask, request,
Insist.
the teachers
Yes.
teach grammar through context.
Yes.
Make them listen, try them to find out about the tense before we explain, make them focus on the tense, then we go to the study box.
Through the context, they should know how
teach
to learn
grammar.
grammar. Yes.
So it's more important to make them be able to use the simple past tense and the past continuous tense, even if they don't know them. Later we tell them this is called past continuous tense, not the opposite.
What other resources do we have?
We have the activity book as well, page 50, exercise 1, read and match. After we finish doing the first page 50 in the pupil's book, we move to the activity book to make them read and match.
Yes.
This is kind of activity to make sure that they know. It's kind of evaluation, periodical evaluation.
Yes.
Activity book, we have again exercise 2, look and write. So we have 2 parts.
Reading and writing here.
Reading and writing. We always say integrate the skills.
Yes.
Listening, speaking, reading and writing.
We don't teach the skills separately.
Yeah, of course. We cannot
it's
actually.
Not real.
It's not real, and it's distracting. Without making them notice, we teach them at least 4 skills together. So the teacher needs to put in mind that I have aims. One of the aims is to teach the integrated skills during the lesson, then to make them be able to use the past continuous tense, it's another aim, and to be able to listen and grab, receive the words from a native speaker, ask them questions to make sure that they understand.
Good.
So we're going to use the cassette, one resource, other is the pupil's book, the third resource is the activity book.
Then we have photocopies.
Then,
one for each pupil.
Yeah.
6 clock faces for to tell the time or to revise how to tell the time.
And
maybe.
any teacher can use flashcards,
Anything,
can use
anything
his laptop if he has a laptop. But we always try to give them a simple way so that no one complains and says, I don't have this, I don't have that. For the teachers, I know a lot of teachers, when they see the sample lesson, I attend their lessons and I see that they are very creative. They added a lot of new things. We thank them. It's a good idea.
Yes.
But for us, we give them a simple sample so that they can build.
They can add.
So what we are giving is not everything.
No.
It's
we have
just
said that before.
Guidance,
Yes.
Guidance so that they be creative in the future, but they can get benefit from this lesson. It's very useful.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We move to the warm-up.
Okay. Miss Umayma,
Yes.
let's talk about warming up. Let's change the terms now.
Okay.
It's your
For
turn.
the warming up,
Please.
we always speak about starting the lesson for about 5 minutes. It
Yes.
takes 5 minutes. It's related to the teacher himself and to the level of the pupil or the students, because according to them, we revise and we relate the previous information with what's going on or what's the lesson, the unit itself. The warming up, we revise telling the time. The teacher should revise telling the time. There are many ways, as we say, we are not talking about the idea. It's ideal. We are giving hints, but the teacher is free to revise. For example, draw 4 clocks on the board.
Good.
And clock faces on the board, then without hands. Add the number from 1 to 12 on these clocks, or
Yes.
simply draw dots for the hours. One of the first clock, drawing hands showing 3 o'clock, for example, and ask. The teacher should ask, what time is it? Ask all the pupils and elicit the answers from several different pupils.
Good.
Encourage them to speak, make it an interesting revise, and encourage everybody to know and tell the time. They should relate the previous information and with this lesson. This is about the warming up,
Good.
telling the time.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, before going on to talk about the procedures, Mr. Majid, I have a question for Ms. Umayma. Let's say that a teacher may ask the following question. Is it necessary to warm up my students in this way? I mean, to revise the time. Can I do the warming up in a different way?
Of course.
By asking different questions, for example,
Of course.
that must be related to the topic of the unit. For example, the topic of the unit, as we said, is about television programs. I can ask some questions to give some hints that our lesson for today is to talk about so-and-so, about TV programs. What did you watch last night? What programs did you watch last night? Did you watch TV last night? So I can ask
Yes.
different questions
Different
to different individuals
Yes.
in the classroom. From their answers, I can write their answers on the board if I like. For example, Faisal watched so and so, Samir watched so and so, Ahmed didn't watch TV last night. I can write their answers on the board. Why not?
Why not?
So in this way, I can do the warming up. So we are, as Mr. Majid said, just giving a sample.
Yes.
So the teacher here is free to choose how to warm up his students. It's not, let's say, a fixed way how to warm or how to do the warming up. No, not final.
Yes.
It's not final.
Yes, we said
the
it's
teacher
not
is
final.
free. He can choose something else. This
Yes.
is my question.
Yeah, actually, as we always say, warming up is of two parts. First part is general questions about anything the teacher wants. The second part of warming up is lead-in activity. Lead-in activity can be questions about the lesson itself, or as Ms. Umayma said, revising something they have taken before. And in this lesson, we're going to have some questions about the time, and they already took it before.
Yes.
So it's a good idea.
Yes.
As you said, the teacher is free. We're not saying that this is the only way of giving a lesson. We are helping them to be creative.
That's it.
And we are telling the teachers, as we tell the students, our job in life is not to teach them what we have, it's to make them learn how to learn.
Exactly.
And now we are helping the teachers to learn how to teach, not to follow a frame,
Yes.
which is lifeless,
Yes.
to be creative. Some may say, I didn't like this, I can do it another way. It's a good idea. We're not saying that we are the only creative people or this is the only way of teaching, but we are giving some hints. The watcher now can find something nice and follow. He may find it not nice at all and find something nice, contrary, that he can be creative to do.
Yes.
So in the end, the aim is done, is to help these teachers to find something beneficial, useful for his students. So you can, as you said, vary the warming up, but in the end, we have something called lead-in activity,
Yes.
which must be about the lesson or revising the previous lesson. And since we have an exercise about the time, so it's a good idea to make them revise.
All,
Mr. Majid.
Then go
Mr.
into
Majid,
the
all
lesson.
what we want from the teacher himself is to be aware of these steps only. I mean, he should know the topic of his lesson. He should know the materials. He should prepare the materials very well, the structures, the functions, everything, and how to do the warming up. I mean, when you prepare your lesson very well, you will be able to, let's say, go on easily in the classroom.
And
with your
above all, to do it in English only,
That's it.
to depend only on English.
Well, they
to
are
forget
grade
about
5.
other,
and
yeah.
especially, we are talking now about grade 5, so they have passed 4 years, and this is the 5th year, so they should know how
Actually-
to communicate in English very
We
well.
have a problem because the teacher doesn't go with the same students from grade 1 to grade 6, and he will say, I received them weak, I can't start with them in English, I need to use Arabic. No, we can start from any level except for maybe you may say that 9th grade and baccalaureate level, it's a crucial level.
Yes.
We are not talking about this. We can handle it in many ways, but we are here to teach English. We need to make these students in the end be able to use the language to communicate using English, not just to teach them how to solve the puzzle of
To
grammar.
learn by heart,
Yeah.
Let's say, some information. We don't need
This
this.
is not memorization.
Yes, yes.
We are here to teach them to use the language. So the teachers need to put in their minds that the aim of teaching English is to make these students be able to use the language, not just to do the puzzle of exam paper and to pass. And in the end, when you talk to the students, they don't understand what you are telling them.
Yes.
They can't communicate. So forget about exam paper forget about it. This is not because exam paper is not important. No, we need to check the progress.
Of course.
But it's not the aim.
It's
the
not
aim
the
is
purpose.
to make them,
Yes.
make them use the language,
Yes.
be able to communicate. In the end, they will be able to do the exam,
Thank
not
you.
just to teach them how to solve the puzzle.
Thank you for this addition, Mr. Majid. Let's talk
Yes.
now about the procedures, please.
Well,
And the time here, the duration for the procedures should not last, let's say, more than 25 minutes maybe, because we
Yeah,
have 5 minutes for warming up. We have 25 minutes for the
Presentation.
procedures or presentation. Then we should or we must have at least 10 minutes for evaluation
yeah, of course.
at the end.
Actually, I want to give some hints to the teachers. When teaching this lesson, first page, we have a text, we have the audio. It's a good idea for the teacher to put the first aim. For example, students will be able to answer questions about the text after they listen to the audio. Now, I play the cassette twice. First time for general idea. Second time, I ask them to listen and to answer questions. At this level, either a teacher prepares some questions on a piece of paper, show
Yes.
it to the students, or he can write them on the board. After they finish listening and reading silently with the audio, the teacher asks individuals to read the questions one by one, then asks, he can now divide the students into pairs or groups to think together, and one of them can answer the question about the text.
Okay.
And we can give hints that here we have something about the past. Did that happen today?
Do you mean skimming and scanning before
Skimming and
doing
scanning
anything?
and giving grammar through context from
yes.
the text.
Yes.
Because we have the study books about the past continuous tense.
Okay.
In this lesson, we are going to cover this and to cover the time.
Okay.
But now, if we move immediately to the time, teachers will say, what about the first part? Okay? So the first part, make them listen, make them be able to understand,
Yes.
elicit the meanings of new words from the students themselves, ask them questions about what they listened to, then tell them that here we have something called past continuous tense, telling something happened, it was in progress at an exact point in time. So the time is fixed, but what was happening takes a period of time. So we explain to them here that when we want to describe something was happening at a point in time, we use the past continuous tense after we make them know that it is subject from sentences. So first, we can say the sentences, we can write them on the board, then we can explain that this is called past continuous tense. We move to the study books to tell them that this is the past continuous tense, subject, verb to be, verb ing, complement. Then we give them a good idea about it. Then we move to practice about the time. We can raise our hands, we can draw circles of time on the board, showing them either 4 fingers, 3 fingers, 5 fingers to make them say the time. What time is it? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So we draw the times on the board, or we show them fingers. We can have photocopies of clock faces. We can dictate the times and ask the students to come under the clock on the board
draw.
if it is drawn on the
yes.
board. For example, 2:30, students are going to come and give
Yes.
the hands, put the hands on the board. 8 o'clock or 4:15.
Yes.
We can say 6 o'clock or 11:30. So we can give different times.
Yes, of
Draw
course.
the faces.
When the students are
students
able
can-
to
yeah.
draw
So they
in the clock correctly, so they know how to tell the time. They know the time.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. It's a time. It's a kind of evaluation,
yeah.
Mr. Majid, when they draw in correctly.
Of course.
So I make sure as a teacher that my students understand how to tell the time.
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue, Ms. Umayma.
Doing
please.
and relating this, speaking about the time, the teacher may follow this by rubbing.
Yes.
The teacher should rub out the clock faces on the board and draw a fresh one.
Okay.
Then ask or add hands to show time as, for example, 6:30. Then the teacher should ask the class, what were you doing at 6:30 yesterday?
Good.
Now, so the first step was drawing or showing, putting this the clocks on the board,
Yes.
putting the hands, revising, relating information. Then ask them questions about the past continuous. What were you doing at 6:30?
So we use Mr. Marisoli, we use the exact times.
The exact time.
The pupils used
Yes.
in the previous, let's say, exercise to ask about these times, ask the pupils themselves about these times. What were you doing at 6 o'clock yesterday or at 7
Yes.
o'clock yesterday, and so on.
This is what I wanted to say, that
Yes.
we are teaching now, revising the time to move to our grammar
Yes.
about the simple,
Yes.
the past continuous tense, that at exact time, what were you doing?
Yes, yes.
This is why we mingled between the time and the past continuous
And the
tense.
past
yeah.
continuous, in order
Good.
to help them use
Good.
grammar,
Yes. Good,
use
good.
past continuous.
In this way, the students know that
Yes.
we use the past continuous to talk about something that was in progress at an exact time in the past. Without explaining, they will know this.
They will know
When they
this.
practice this correctly, they will understand the meaning of the past continuous.
Yes.
So it's a wrong method or a wrong strategy, as Mr. Majid said, to start with explaining grammar without or irrespective of the context. We need the context, we need the situation to make the students able to understand the meaning of grammar.
Yes, you're right.
Yes,
Yes.
that's it.
Okay.
So the teacher he may make use of a calendar, for example, in order to teach them that yesterday, or he may use gesture to demonstrate using yesterday. What were you doing at 6 or 6:30 yesterday? Then he asks, for example, he make comparison. For example, in the morning, what were you doing? What were you doing? And
Yes.
they answer, I was, for example, watching different answers from the pupil themselves. They use the past continuous in different ways.
And then I can vary my questions. I can ask them about some different individuals, not about
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
What, for example, was your brother doing?
Yeah, thank you very much. To
Or
make them
your
know how
sister?
to use he, she.
To talk
yeah.
about people, yes.
Yes, to talk
yes.
about others.
Yes.
The teacher may start, I was reading a book. What were you doing? Then one of them may answer a question, this question, I was, for example, doing my homework.
Okay.
What was your friend doing? He asked another pupil, then asked another one. The teacher may make them work in pair, or bring two pupils in front of others. We always insist that they like to show off, they
Okay.
like to speak, to ask and answer question. They ask each other and answer. What were you doing? To use the past continuous
Yes.
tense.
And
That's
when
it.
a student doesn't know what to say, the teacher's role here is to say the
Yes.
correct
Yes.
sentence so that the student knows
Yes.
what he
Good.
should say,
So-
and other pupils
Thank
learn.
you. Thank you,
Yes,
Mr.
he helps
Majid.
them.
So let's go back to go on in the presentation. Now,
Yes.
as you said, the teacher may ask the class,
Yes,
what were you doing at 6:30 yesterday evening, for example?
and use gesture to demonstrate
Yes.
that talking about the past, or point behind himself, the teacher, or point to yesterday on the calendar.
Good.
Say, I was making a salad, for example. Yes, mime preparing a salad.
Good.
Alternatively, substitute any other action which is easy
The
to
teacher
mime.
is free to do any
Free,
action, to
swimming.
mime
Yes,
something
to
different.
Mime, when miming something which
Yes,
is easy
yes,
to do,
yes, yes.
and ask them to say or to speak, to use the past continuous. For example, writing a letter, reading a book, etc.
Different activities.
Different activities.
Good.
That. Then ask it again. The teacher should ask again, what were you doing at 6:30?
Yesterday evening.
Yesterday evening. Can you show me? Then invite pupils to mime what they were doing and help them to express an idea in
Yes.
English. For
It's
example,
a kind of translation,
yes,
but by
Body
using
language.
the body language.
Body
body language and
This is, we can say, interpretation. interpretation better than translation.
Yes.
So you interpret your idea using gestures, using
understanding
pictures,
the activities.
using everything to make the students be able to understand away from Arabic.
And I think it would be very interesting to the pupils because they will move.
Yeah, we said the teacher is an actor.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, the teacher is an actor and the students will enjoy it. They enjoy learning, they enjoy using the past continuous tense while miming, while doing
They
many
like
activities.
acting.
They like acting and
Yes.
speaking at the
Good.
same time. We say the teacher corrects and they may repeat after the teacher. The pupil may repeat, have them repeat if they say something wrong.
I can
or
imagine
use
if a
misuse.
student says, I was sleeping.
Yes.
So he will act this.
Yeah, very well. Very well.
Okay.
Actually, when she mentioned salad, she made my mouth water, saying we didn't have lunch till now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms.
Yes,
Umayma.
that's for the
Mr.
presentation.
Majid, please. Let's go back to the unit itself. As you said, we will start with listening. Let's talk about this, please. I think it's slide 15.
Yes. Actually, we can say, let's see what Ruba and Hussam were doing at 6:30 yesterday.
You talked about skimming and scanning,
Yeah.
so let's explain this, please.
Yeah, good. Now, as we said, we play the audio, make them find the general idea first, then we play it again, pausing when we think that here we need to explain something or to help them grab or receive the words correctly. And then we let them talk about the new words. We make them notice that we are going now to explain something about grammar, which is now at this level, teachers now can see that we started teaching grammar, not before. Now it's grade 5th, and from their books they can find that now we have study books about this past continuous tense. So listening is important, as we said, to make them be able to understand.
Yes.
And this is one skill. The other skills is to read silently. Third, to get something from the lesson, which is grammar, past continuous tense. We can ask them, for me, for example, when I want to teach something, I tell them that you are going now to see or meet some sentences having these sentences have subject, verb to be, verb
Yes,
ing.
yes.
I want you either to clap or to raise your hand or to say beep, say something when you meet this, so that everyone notices that we have past continuous tense. After that, we ask them questions. The teacher can write the questions on the board, make them answer the questions about the text. Then we move to grammar, say this is the past continuous tense, and he can at this level explain
Good.
questions about...
Okay, sorry for interruption. I think we have a call from Ruba from Tartus. Good afternoon, Ruba.
Good afternoon, sir.
Miss Ruba, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Thanks for your call. I'm
Fine.
sure that you have been watching us since the
I'm sorry,
beginning.
I didn't follow you because there's an electric cut.
Okay.
But I want to give you a comment. Can I?
Why not? It's of our great pleasure to participate with
thanks
us.
a lot. So as a teacher, I'm not very good at drawing.
Yes.
So each lesson, I bring some pictures and posters about the lessons that I'm going to give from the net.
Okay. Good.
So for this lesson, Unit 17, that's a grade, maybe I have a suggestion to bring some pictures about the television program,
Good.
news, weather forecast,
Very good.
nature, etc.
Good
Or maybe
suggestion.
a cartoon which students may like.
Okay. A good suggestion, in fact.
Yes, and by this way, I can make my students more attentive.
Good. More motivated. Yes, you're right. You're right, Ms. Ruba.
Yes.
Well, of course, we have the technology. If the teacher is able to use the technology, why not? We insist
Yes.
on him to use the technology. Everything available between the hands or in hands is okay. Why not?
Each lesson or any lesson you want, you can find many beautiful pictures on the net.
Good.
Yes, that's
Good.
right.
Different programs. He can bring or prepare some pictures. Why not?
Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
I'd
for
like
your
to thank you,
suggestion.
Ms. Ruba.
Well, let me ask you, what grades do you teach, Ms. Ruba?
I'm teaching 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
So in primary,
Very
in the primary
Yes.
stage.
Yes,
Good,
in
good,
primary
good.
school. Okay.
Well, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Can I ask you?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. When teaching grammar,
Yes.
we are, as you can see, we are trying to focus on teaching grammar in the correct way, because most of the teachers or most of our colleagues, let's say many of them, follow, let's say, a traditional strategy when teaching grammar, as you know. So we insist to use a different strategy, a modern one, when we say or when we ask them to teach grammar through the context. So what about you? How can you teach the past continuous, for example? Let's talk about the past continuous, which is in the lesson itself.
Yes, that's it. I wanted to ask you the same question. I'm with teaching grammar with examples.
Good.
Good.
Yes,
Very good.
not in traditional way. It's, especially at this age. A lot of teachers write the forms, the usage, and the keywords without explaining it.
Very good.
Thank you.
But I'm with giving examples with pictures, with drawings.
Pictures.
The students
Very
will
nice.
understand better than the other way.
So you can bring the pictures and ask the students themselves to describe what they can see in the pictures. For example, a boy, for example, was sleeping at 7 o'clock yesterday. So they will tell you the sentence. You can write the sentence itself on the board. They will understand how to use the past continuous. Thank you. Thank you. A good suggestion. So we insist on using, let's say, or teaching grammar through context. Thank you very, very much, Ms. Ruba. If you like to add anything else, we are ready.
No, thanks a lot.
Thanks for your call. We wish you good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye. Well, let's go back, Mr. Majid, because we have only 5 minutes before the break, and we have to cover the first part.
Thanks a lot to Ms. Ruba for her participation.
Yes.
As I was saying, while listening, the teacher can write questions on the board about the audio itself. What was mom doing?
Yes.
And here he can use the two kinds of questions. He can write WH questions and yes/no questions. What was mom doing?
Good.
What was she making? Was she reading? No, she wasn't. What was she doing? So I write both ways. Now, when the students answer me from the book, the answer is past continuous tense. My questions as a teacher are the two kinds, WH questions and yes/no questions.
Good.
After writing this, the teacher can explain to them that we have two kinds of questions, WH questions, yes/no questions. And he can move on telling them that they are called yes/no questions because the answer starts with yes or no, and WH questions need a full answer. And this is called past continuous tense. Of course, when I write what was mom doing, the teacher writes at 6 o'clock to show them that we are talking about a progress at a specific, at exact time. We say, what was mom doing at 6 o'clock? Then, was she making dinner? Was she reading? So I write the question. When the students say, people say, no, she wasn't, or I, as a teacher, write, no, she wasn't, I tell them that I can teach them the question and the affirmative case and the negative case without making them feel that I'm writing it about abstract way.
In fact, Mr. Majid, I'd like to thank you because you have just reminded me of something which is very, very important. As you remember, when we talked in our previous seminars about listening, the listening skill, we said that when we teach listening, in our real life, we don't listen for nothing.
Yes.
There must be a purpose to listen too. I mean, when I, as a teacher, ask my pupils to listen to the tape script, I must prepare some questions. I advise the teachers to prepare some questions before I ask my pupils to listen to the tape script. First of all, I prepare them. Okay, the topic is so and so. You are going to listen to a lady or a mother. She is talking about so and so, etc. I want you to read the questions very carefully. I can write 3 or 4 questions. Then I play on the cassette, and then to make the pupils find the answers. The answers. It's very necessary because it's an assessment itself. When I do this, they practice listening. They don't listen for nothing. They would say, why did the teacher ask us to listen? How can we follow the speakers, for example, in the tape script? We are in grade 5. So there must be some questions, a purpose on the board. Then ask the pupils to listen to the tape script to find the information.
Yeah, it's a must.
It's
a must.
It's better in my opinion.
Optional.
Yes,
yeah, it's a
but
must.
to listen for nothing, to listen to the whole tape script.
No, of course. Nothing in life is for
Yes.
nothing. There should be a name. In this lesson, we have the past continuous as an objective, and pupils to be able to use the television programs, another objective. So while asking these questions, we can write, what was Dad doing? He was watching television. What programs does he like? What does Hussam like? What programs does Hussam like? Then the teacher can write a heading.
Good.
And he can write.
So in the lesson itself, Mr. Majid, we have 4 characters. We have Mom, Ruba, Hussam, and Dad. We can ask the pupils to listen to the cassette, follow in their books, and tell you what the 4 people were doing, if you like. The teacher can, of course, write, as I said, some questions before asking the pupils to open their books and ask them to listen to the tape script in order to find answers. He can do this. And I think it's better to follow this strategy because listening can be practiced. This is the only way to practice listening, in my opinion. We don't listen. We in our real life, as I said, we listen for a purpose, to find some information or to find out specific information. When we listen to someone, we need information.
Yes.
So when we ask them, they will be looking for the information itself. Do you agree? I don't know if you agree with me or not.
Dear Basil, we have a question to the pupils without having a tape script to listen and answer. But now when we say let them listen and read, and the question you aroused at the beginning of the seminar, since we are helping them understand and match, since in English, as we always say,
two senses
words
are better,
and sounds don't match.
Yes.
So at the beginning, since we are teaching them, we can make them look from time to time at the words so that they understand what they are listening to and what they are reading. But when it is a test, of course, they can't see the passage. They need just to listen. This is in the exam. But while teaching them, we need from time to time, as I told you, sometimes we show them the book, sometimes books closed.
Okay, I agree with you, but I'd like to add something, that the teacher can train his pupils to practice listening in this way. He can prepare them. When he does this, or when he follows this strategy, he is training them.
Yes.
We don't care about the exam. I know the exam is very important at the end of the year, but I want to make sure if my students listen very well or not. So how can I evaluate their skill? I should do this. I should follow this. So I agree. I can mix my opinion with your opinion. It's okay. Both of them are correct.
I agree with you.
Of course, the teacher is free at the end.
Yes.
So let's continue. Before we continue, I think it's time for a break. After the break, we are going to listen to the tape script itself, and then we can continue the lesson and the steps of the lesson. So, dear colleagues, let me remind you before we have a break for some seconds that you can contact us by using the phone numbers shown on the screen. Well, dear colleagues, let's have a break for some seconds, and then we can go back. Thank you. Hello again, dear colleagues, English teachers. Welcome to our seminar in which we were talking about some applied lessons from grade 5. As you know, we have chosen Unit 17. We were talking before the break, and this is the past continuous, Miss Umayma.
Yes.
We were talking before the break about, let's say, some steps the teacher can follow when he warms up the pupils and when he presents or the procedures of the lesson itself. Miss Ruba called us and she was talking about how to prepare, let's say, and to bring some pictures and to be used in the lesson itself about different television programs. We were talking before the break about the tape script itself, and we were talking about the listening skill, Mr. Majid. Let's now listen to the tape script itself. Then we can go back to comment on it, please. So now let's listen to the tape script. I think it doesn't work. It's okay.
Can we read it?
No. It
will work.
It must work. Okay.
Unit 17, Exercise 1. Listen and read.
Everybody was very busy at 6:30 yesterday evening. Mum was cooking in the kitchen. I was helping Mum. We were making chicken and rice. It's Hossam's favourite food. Hossam was doing his homework. He was using the computer to find out about elephants. Dad was watching television. He always watches the news and the weather forecast. Mum loves game shows. Hossam likes nature programs. When I was young, I liked watching cartoons. Now I love watching films. Mum, Dad, Hossam and I watched a film together after dinner. It was very exciting.
Unit 17, Exercise 2.
Now, the teacher asked the pupils to listen to the tape script. Of course, we said before listening to the tape script that the teacher is free. He can write some questions on the board, ask the pupils to read the questions in order to find answers or to write answers or to answer orally. There is no need to write.
It's okay.
So it's okay. He can decide. The teacher can decide what is suitable. We have listened, Mr. Majid, to the tape script. We have, let's say, answered the questions. Now, after listening to the tape script, what can the teacher do here? Ms. Umayma, please.
After listening and answering many questions and focusing on the lesson itself to improve the skill of listening and speaking, then the teacher focus on the example shown in the boy's speech bubble.
Good.
Read it aloud and have one or two pupils repeat.
Good.
Then draw a timeline. So first to have them repeat and then draw a timeline to show how the was plus ing, which is the past continuous, is used to describe continuous action in the past.
Good.
6 o'clock, I was
For
watching
example,
television,
at 6
for
o'clock,
example.
I was,
yes.
Good.
I was watching television.
Yes.
Then the teacher should read out the examples in the study books and have pupils repeat them.
Good.
When on the board, the teacher should show how the past continuous tense is formed.
He can focus on the form, yes.
Focus on the form. Now the
Yes.
teacher is explaining grammar. After speaking, using English and using past continuous tense, now the teacher explained that this is past continuous. Write the was plus the verb in the ing form. Then the past continuous tense is formed.
How
the
to
form
use
of
verb to
it.
be.
Yes, how to use
was
verb
and
to
were.
be.
Yes, yes.
To where in the you form and in the plural.
Good.
He may write different examples.
Different examples.
Different examples with different pronouns to use I was, they
She
were.
was.
Okay,
Yes,
and
yes.
insist. He may use different colors. He may have them repeat, for the same pronoun, then for many other different pronouns.
Very good.
To use the past continuous, and ask them to ask themselves. Okay, each one ask his partner in pair work, then say other verbs in the first person.
Good.
After doing this, the teacher should say other verbs in the first person and have the class chant
Yes.
the remaining past continuous forms for
Singular or plural. Yes,
or plural.
yes.
Yes. For example, I was playing football. I was washing my car. I was helping mom. I was taking photographs. Many different examples the
Yes.
teacher may produce. Okay.
Good.
Then, after doing all of this, we have the follow-up.
Good.
For the activity of teaching
Okay.
the use of past continuous tense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Majid, please, what about the follow-up now?
Well, after they have listened and after they have practiced the past continuous tense, we have follow-up procedure. We ask this, now we are going to apply what they listened to from the cassette and the book on themselves. We're going to ask them questions about themselves. First, I ask a general question to all the pupils so that they answer using we. What were you doing yesterday at 6 o'clock? We were watching television. So I create some sample answer to them just to use we. Then I ask two other students, two individual students, a question one by one, what were you doing? And I make them use I was. After these two students answer, I ask other couple about the first two students. If it is a boy, they are going to answer. I say, what was he doing at 6 o'clock yesterday?
Okay.
The answer is going to be he was. If it was a girl, it would be she was. So I help them now to use all the pronouns. I was at the beginning, then he was, she was. Then again, I ask a general question. I can here divide the classroom into three groups. I say, group one, what were you doing at 4 o'clock yesterday, 6 o'clock, anytime? Now, the aim is to make the other two groups to use they.
Yes.
They have the pronoun.
Yes.
Then I ask them what they were doing at 6 o'clock yesterday. These two groups are going to answer either individual students
Or to choose an individual.
Yeah.
What were you doing? And then ask someone else to talk about him.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to arouse the questions for I, for he, for
all
she,
the pronouns.
and help them. When they can't answer, the teacher himself samples the answer, gives them the answer, and they repeat so that he covers all the pronouns.
So why are we focusing on this point, Mr. Majid? Because we need practice. We don't care about information only. It's important for the pupil to have information or grammatical information, but that's not enough. We need practice. We need him to practice the rule himself in real life.
And to talk about themselves.
To talk about themselves. This is grammar. Grammar can't be taught separately, as you said at the beginning. So this is why we are focusing on this point. We should care for the pupils and make sure that they all know how to use the pronouns correctly. Different pronouns and the correct form of verb to be with the ing form, of course.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Majid. Well, let's continue. Miss Umayma, can we continue, Mr. Majid?
Yeah, it's okay.
So, okay, now we have done, let's say, the first step, presenting or revising, let's say, the personal pronouns, different personal pronouns. What can you add? You can add anything.
Yes, what about
if Miss Umayma would like to add
a
something.
mistake, for example?
Yes, good. Actually, it's one of the ways, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for saying this. So to make sure that they know what to use.
Yes.
I, as a teacher, say, he are watching or he were watching, then I say, am I right? No, if they don't notice, so it's a good idea that I made a mistake so that they don't make it.
Yes.
Always, always we need to have mistakes. Why? The one who doesn't make mistakes, he will never learn. Because usually we learn from our mistakes. And when we don't make mistakes, we will think that it is okay. And the first time we meet a mistake, we will not be able to solve the problem. But when we have mistakes and we correct them while we are studying, when we meet these mistakes in the future, we can correct them. So the teacher can say, she, for example, she were watching television. Is that right? If they got the mistake, good idea. If they didn't get the mistake, the teacher says no. It should be she was. Where goes with we can explain the correct idea about grammar by making the mistakes. The teacher himself can make the mistake and tell them the correction, or maybe the students are good enough to find the mistake and correct it. Good idea, Ms. Umaima, thank you.
In fact, I have another tip or some piece of advice for dear colleagues. When we teach grammar, or when we want to write examples, it's better to write something actual, I mean something real, not to bring, let's say, imaginative characters. It's better to talk about individuals found in the classroom, their partners, I mean the pupils' partners, the pupils' friends, their families. Why? I mean to link or to connect this grammar with real life. In this way, they will understand easily. For example, when I talk about an engineer, and there is no engineer in the classroom, it's better to talk about someone else found in the classroom, I mean their friend. They will participate easily and they will feel, or the sentence, I mean, will touch their life. This is what I mean, not imaginative. Okay, when there is an engineer in the lesson, okay, we can talk about an engineer or a doctor and so on. But if there is no engineer, if there is no picture, it's better to talk about something actual, to talk about something real. This is what I mean.
Yeah, and to make them always participate so that they feel the lesson, use it, practice it. Practice is very important, as you mentioned.
Okay. After now the follow-up, Ms. Umaima, what can you add?
After the follow-up, we have them look at the activity book, exercise.
We have now evaluation.
Evaluation. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The final step of this lesson. Okay. So in the activity book, exercise number 1, we notice that there are few sentences. The teacher should give pupils few minutes to read the sentences quietly to themselves first, and match them to the pictures. Then we
because exercise 1 is to match between the pictures and the sentences. And here it's a good idea to make students, pupils work in groups.
In groups
of 3 or 4 to work together, read together and match, and then one gives the answers.
That's it. So in exercise number 1, read and match, have them read, the teacher should have the pupil read quietly to themselves and match the pictures. After reading, the teacher should correct orally with the whole class, then have pupil repeat the sentences after him. The teacher reads the sentences, and then they read them after him.
Good.
Then the teacher should point to the corresponding picture, and they give or write the answers. After this, we notice they are the answers. For sentence number 1, we have picture D, number 2 C, number 3 A, and number 4 B.
Actually you have pictures of playing football, washing the car, helping mom in the garden, and taking photographs. Students can see clearly in the pictures what's happening, and they can match, and we give them the correct answers as teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
For exercise number 2.
Before we go on to exercise number 2, I think we have another call from Hanadi. Hanadi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
We're fine, thank you. What about you?
Good afternoon, Miss Umayma and Miss Mazik.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you, Ms. Hanadi.
Thank
Fine,
you.
thank you.
Well, Ms. Hanadi, I'm sure that you have something for us in this seminar. If you have any question, we are ready.
Thank you. I don't have any question, but I have some ideas.
Yeah, good.
Why not?
Very good. Creative one.
Okay.
Thank you. For this lesson, the first aim, listening and reading.
Yes.
For specific information, so we can make students listen to the text once or twice as we decide. Then they have to listen again in order to work in pairs and decide if the sentences that I will write on the board are true or false.
Good.
Miss Hanadi,
For example, I can write, my mom was reading in the kitchen. This sentence is incorrect. By working in pairs, they will decide that it is false. So the correction is mom was cooking. By this way, they change or replacing between verbs, and this way they use more verbs, and also they use the past continuous tense.
Okay.
The second one, I can give them pictures, and each picture has some people do some activities, and there is a clock that refers to the time. Then I can write sentences on the board, and each student has to decide and choose the sentence that refers to the picture he has. Then he has to read the sentence loudly. Of course, this sentence refers to the past continuous tense with time.
Good. An experienced teacher.
Good. Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh.
I can invite them to watch a video that shows them many types of programs.
Good.
After that, they have to name the programs that they have heard in this video. And then I can ask them what types of programs do you prefer to watch and why. Here I can talk to my students, make them speak the language, and know about the types of programs.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank you, in fact, for your for this great addition.
Thank
but
you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to go back to the first step when you talked about listening.
Yes.
And when you said the teacher asks the pupils to listen and to play on the cassette once or twice.
Yes.
My question is, can we ask the pupils to listen to the tape script? That's it? Just listen to the tape script without writing any questions, or without asking the pupils to listen to the tape script to find something specific? Because when we do this, we will make them concentrate more or focus more on the tape script. They will be more motivated. But if we don't ask them, or if we don't write any question, let's say, on the board, and we say, listen to the audio. Okay, listen to the cassette. For what? For what?
Of course, you will write questions.
So, do you suggest, or do you think that it is a good strategy to write some questions on the board before asking the pupils to listen to the tape script?
I write the question after they listen, or during they listen to the audio. I can write these sentences. I can repeat this step once or twice or third, no matter, till they find the answer of the question that I will write. Not WH questions, true or false, choosing between brackets.
Okay.
Easy questions.
Maybe, Miss Hanadi, it's my own advice.
Yes.
It's my own advice. Just 2 or 3 general questions about the text before playing on the cassette is better than writing the questions after listening. It's better to write the questions on the board before asking the pupils to listen. Why? Because they will have a purpose for listening.
Yeah, good idea.
This is what I mean. But if we don't write questions on the board, there is no purpose for listening. What is the purpose for of listening to the cassette? So the pupils maybe will be confused, a number of them, and some of them won't be motivated or concentrated. But when we write questions, believe me, they will feel that they are looking for something.
Yes.
They need to find information in the listening itself, in the tape script itself. So it's my advice. This is Mr. Majid, please.
Yes. I have something to say to Miss Hanadi. She mentioned that she usually makes her students watch something, a video, for example.
Yes.
I can imagine what she is doing, but I want her to clarify. Do you usually use your laptop or you use a projector with electricity in the school? What do you use? Is it a laptop?
I always take my laptop.
Yeah, that's it. What I want to say, because teachers will say nowadays no power, no electricity in our schools, so it's a good idea.
You can bring your laptop with
to
you.
bring your laptop with
Charged.
you. Charged.
It is charged.
It will work at least an hour and a half.
Yes.
And you can use it. Thank
Maybe
you very
you will
much
need it
Thank
for 15 minutes. It's enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Thank you, Miss Hanadi. I'd like to thank you for your call, for your addition, and we wish you all the best. Goodbye. Thank you. Well, dear colleagues, let's go back to the exercise, which is number 2.
Number 2, yeah. Exercise number 2.
Okay. What about it?
We have pictures again, but this time it's not matching. It's writing.
Good.
It's a good idea before we ask them to write to do the exercise orally. We ask the pupils to look at the pictures. Picture number 1. What was Hussam doing at 7 o'clock in picture number 1?
Good.
It's written. The answer is written. Then we ask them about second picture. We make the pupils answer. We give them help when needed.
Yes.
After we do it orally, we can ask them to write the answers on their books. And here the teachers goes around the classroom giving help when needed.
Yes.
Answers, of course, are number 1 is today at 7 o'clock Hussam was eating an apple. It is done. Number 2, yesterday at 10:30 Hussam was talking to his friend. Picture number 3, yesterday at 3:15. And here I want to tell the teachers that it's okay to say a quarter or without a quarter.
Yes,
both are accepted.
Yes.
Past 3, Hussam was playing basketball. Picture number 4, yesterday at 6:45, Hussam was watching cartoons. 5, yesterday at 9 o'clock, Hussam was sleeping. The best thing in life is to sleep. I usually do it after we get tired.
Oh, thank you very much. Now we can talk, Miss Umayma, about lesson 2.
Yes,
we
lesson 2.
We have done everything about lesson 1. What about lesson 2? It's the same.
It's
what about the
same.
aims, please?
Yes, the aims, as we are talking about unit 17, yes, lesson 1 and lesson 2, we have the aims to practice using the past continuous tense and to describe extended action in the past and to say which kind of television program. Here,
we have something new.
Something new, yes, in lesson 2.
The television programs.
Yes, the television programs that the pupil, the pupil and his family enjoy. And the structure is about past continuous tense.
Yes.
Okay. This is
functions.
about the functions. Well,
saying what was happening at
yes.
a specific time in the past.
Yes.
This is a function.
The same
What
topic.
else?
Again, the topic is home
life,
life,
television programs. The same.
And here, as I mentioned before, the teacher can write the heading on the board named television programs. Then the teacher can talk about the programs Ruba mentioned in the audio, news, nature, documentaries, cartoons, talk shows, game shows.
The resources, I think the resources are the same. Let's mention them, please, Ms. Umayma.
Pupils book, page 51, exercise 2, listen and choose.
Yes.
The cassette, unit 17, exercise 2, listen and choose.
Good.
Pupils book, page 51, exercise 3, look and talk together. Pupils book, page 51, exercise 4, talk about your weekend.
Good.
Then the pupils book, page 51, exercise 5, talk about you. Activity book, page 51, exercise 3, look and order the television programs you like best.
Good.
Activity book, page 51, exercise 4, to write. Then we have flashcards, cartoon, film, game show, nature program, the news, the weather forecasts. All of these are resources that teacher can use in his lesson.
Thank you. Mr. Majid, please, what about the warming up for this lesson, please?
As we talked before, the warming up, the same as in lesson 1, we're going to ask them questions about what were they doing at an exact time yesterday. If someone says, I was watching television, it's a very good chance to ask him or her, what program were you watching? And here we can talk about TV programs in the exercise itself. Later, we start the audio because the exercise is about listen and choose. We have nature program, we have weather forecast, we have cartoon, we have film, we have game show, we have the news. So after we talked about these programs, we make them listen and to choose, do the exercise. Actually, the girl in the book, in the bubble, she says, what kind of program are these? And the pupils are going to choose these programs. So we have to do it by listening and by asking the questions, what were they doing? Then we move to the time.
Yes.
We ask them to look at the pictures and the time. We ask them about the time and what was. So now we are going to revise the time, and we ask about the people in the pictures. What was the boy doing, or let's say Hussam doing at 4 o'clock? He was flying a kite. What was Ruba doing? She was watering a plant.
Yes.
So we make them again here revise the third person pronoun.
Yes.
Because we are going to talk about the pictures. We have he, she, they.
Yes.
He, she, they, for Hussam, for Ruba, for her mom, and for his brother or his friend, for example. We can hold up the book. We say open at page 50. Then we ask pupils about Ruba and her family. What was Ruba doing at 6 o'clock yesterday evening? We help the pupils from the memory without looking at the book. Just you hold the book.
Yes.
Then we make them revise the television programs. Because Ruba in page 50 mentioned about the programs. At the same time, we teach the vocabulary and we elicit the meanings from the students themselves.
Yes.
For example, I can ask, do you like game shows?
Good.
Then we ask the students about who knows about game shows. Pupils can talk. If they didn't, the teacher himself
I can give them an example.
Yeah, examples about game shows from real life, from the programs
from real life.
They usually watch nowadays about game shows so that they match between what is written and what is real in life. And this is the way we teach vocabulary. So when they don't know, for example, when I teach the word footballer, maybe we have the name Ronaldinho. Do you know Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho is a footballer. He's a good player. So teach them from something they know. If we are talking about game shows, we mention a game show shown nowadays on the television, and we know that pupils watch it. Like this, we go to cover the whole lesson, which is about listening and about looking and saying the time and talking in the simple past tense about what the people in the picture.
And of course, I'd like to add something, Mr. Majid. When we, let's say, revise or teach writing, we should not forget punctuation. It's important at the same time to train the pupils on correct punctuation.
Actually, it's a good idea.
Question mark, for example,
very
is necessary
important
at the end of
writing,
the question.
But now, for me, even when I'm chatting with somebody, nowadays we have social media.
I'm not talking about speaking. When we write.
And writing. When I chat, I write.
Of course.
So I insist on using punctuation to even show the other side maybe a teacher, maybe a student, that I use punctuation. For example, When I say, hello, dear, I need to put a comma before I say
Yes,
dear.
yes.
Maybe you say it's not important in chatting, but I insist because I convey a lesson. And for the teacher, while he's writing, he can say full stop, he can say comma. Even if he's not going
Step
to
by
teach them,
step,
he's
he
not
can
going to
train
teach
them.
them punctuation.
Step by step.
He
Not
can
all
show-
of them.
Yeah,
I don't mean that all punctuation in
No.
one lesson, no, or in one class. I mean, here we need a question mark,
Yes.
or a full stop, or a comma.
Yeah, he's
It's
the
okay.
model. He's
That's
the
it.
model, so
Yeah.
he can use the correct punctuation. His students will understand gradually the importance of this.
Okay. Let's go on, Miss Umayma. Thank you, Mr. Majid.
Well,
What
after
about
this-
after Mr. Majid has just explained how to do exercise 2?
Yes.
Let's move on.
We said
to-
that
Here we
in
have
pupil
flashcards.
book,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
the 6 flashcards up.
Yes.
The teacher should stand the 6 flashcards up,
Yes.
where everyone can see them in any order. Then ask pupil to open their books at page 51. Read aloud the question in the girl's speech bubble.
So
And
these
ensure-
flashcards are about the programs.
Yes.
Nature program, the
Different
weather
programs, the weather
forecast, the
forecast.
cartoons.
Yes.
Of course, different programs.
Yeah,
Game
so that-
show,
Slide
film,
39,
cartoon.
Miss Umayma.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after this, ask the teacher, ask pupil to listen to 6 short extracts
Yes.
from television programs.
Good.
After they look, they listen.
It's
and-
important to pause
Yes, it's
after
important
every.
to pause after each one.
Yes.
And point to the flashcards and ask, what kind of program is it? Point.
Good,
You
good.
hold, the teacher holds the book and point, then ask about it.
Good.
Well, then invite pupil to come and point to the correct flashcard and tell the teacher
The program
and tell,
type.
Yes, about
Yes.
the program
They
type.
should tell the program
They should
type.
speak and
Good.
tell. The teacher should encourage pupils to listen for keywords in the recording and to consider the general style of presentation.
Good.
They don't need to understand every word they hear.
This
They-
is what I mean.
Yes, this is what you always
And
And this is
we
the
like
problem
this.
of our teachers. They think that these students need to understand everything. That's why they use Arabic translating.
Yes.
No, we have something, we have objectives in the lesson. Students need to understand the objectives of the lesson. If they
Yes.
didn't understand everything in the cassette, it's okay. They will understand later.
Yes.
But now the objectives for this lesson is teaching the past continuous and teaching TV programs, new vocabulary. So this is our objectives in the lesson.
Yes.
Good.
Students don't need to understand every word. Maybe the teacher himself may mention a lot of new vocabulary that students maybe cannot understand. But the aim of using these vocabularies is to make the students receive new words.
Good.
Later on, they will meet them again when
Yes.
it is their time.
Now, when we, Ms. Umayma, play the cassette once more or
Yes.
again,
Yes.
we can ask for additional, let's say,
Yes, additional-
information.
Yeah,
Or
this time
we
we
can ask
cover-
the pupils
we-
to
we
give,
hide-
sorry, Mr. Majid, to give us a full sentence now.
Yes.
And we hide the flashcards now
Yes,
at
of
this
course.
point. The
Without
second time
looking
we
at-
played, we had
without
the
looking
flashcards.
at the flashcards.
Without looking. They
So-
first they answer nature program. Then
Okay.
they should say and give complete sentence, full
It's
sentence.
a nature program.
It's a nature program. Okay. Then have them repeat different answer, different individual.
And they should know the question itself. They should be trained
Yes.
on the question. What kind of program is
it? Yes, and have them work in pair. What kind of
Yes.
program is it? They point to each program, to the flashcard. They answer. They work in pair. They speak. They ask and answer together.
Okay, this is the one role. I mean,
One role, yes.
teacher, student. What about SS? I mean, student to
Student,
student.
student, yes.
So I can ask, I should ask,
I should
as a teacher, the pupils themselves to ask each others
Yes.
about different programs. I can divide them into different groups, give them flashcards to
Mm-hmm.
make dialogues. I can walk around, listen to them, help them.
Correct
So
if they're-
correct
yes.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
This is a good strategy also.
That's it.
To practice speaking.
To practice
Yes,
speaking.
Yes. So, Mr. Majid, we have written, in fact, the answers for this
actually, I have something to say
but
about,
if you they are written, there is no need to read them.
Just want to show.
If you like to add something, it's okay.
Show the teachers that here in the book, the question is, what kind of program is it? And we have 6 flashcards, as we said, game show, cartoon, like this. I can say something later. Ms. can talk about the other thing. When we play the audio, the people in the audio are going to say, you have 1 minute to answer. Are you ready? The other person say, yes, I'm ready. What is the biggest city in Syria? Is it Aleppo? No, I'm afraid it isn't. It is Damascus. Yes, it is Damascus. Well done. Here I ask, what kind of program is it? Good. It is a game show. Game shows is like this. So we explain that game shows go like this. So students are going to elicit the name of the program on the flashcards after they listen to the questions. Ms. Umema can talk about the other.
I think I'm afraid that time is over, Ms. Umema. We have explained the idea. The main idea is clear. I think. Am I right?
That's
so
it.
Here,
for every step.
We follow the same strategy when we do each exercise. The same strategy, the same steps. We have to be clear when we give them the instructions. I mean, when we give our pupils the instructions, we as teachers must be very, very clear to make the pupils know how to do the exercise. Well, at the end of this seminar, dear colleagues, English teachers, let me thank you for watching us first. And then let me thank my colleagues in the studio, Ms. Umema Sharba and Mr. Abdel Majid Orli, for their
thank you for being patient
rich participation. Till we meet in other seminars, we wish you all the best and